Hello, my name is Kevin and this is Wind Me Up episode 4. Wind me up! Welcome back to Wind Me Up episode 4, and this week's episode will be about the Northern Rhone, and I will be trying a wine from one of Gigal's Ludi, special place, special vineyard, the St. Joseph 2016. So, the Northern Rhone. The Northern Rhone is a moderate continental climate. The grape there for the red wines is Syrah. Some of the wines, that make the Syrah can also have a little bit of white wine blended in them actually in some of the appellations there. Helps to stabilise the colour. But most of the wines these days are all red grapes, and it's Syrah, 100% Syrah. Syrah obviously in Australia is called Shiraz, or in South Africa or other places use the word Shiraz as well, but we're in France, it's Syrah. The actual area of the Northern Rhone, there is a possibility for a generic Côte de Rhone wine, but very, very small amounts of Côte de Rhone come from the north, most of it comes from the south. In the Northern Rhone, it's the Cru vineyards that count there. See if I remember the order of them. At the very northern tip of the northern appellation is the Côte Rôtie, and then you've got Cordrea, I believe. Then you have St. Joseph to the left, and to the right you have Crozes Hermitage, Cornez, and I'm forgetting one I think, but anyway, there's some Cru appellations there where these wines come from. The grape Syrah normally gives you a deep coloured wines, lots of black fruit flavours, black currant, blackberry, black cherry, and very often gives you some black pepper notes as well. And it's normally a full-bodied wine, although they can vary from place to place. And also the best sites in the Northern Rhone are on slopes, because you're at the northern limit to where Syrah can actually ripen properly. So you really have to be careful about the sites there, because it needs a certain amount of warmth, Syrah. Like I said, it's the northern limit, so the best sites are on steep slopes. Côte Rôtie, prime example, that's actually roasted slope is Côte Rôtie. So you need the sudden exposure to the sun, really steep slopes, and also you need to be protected from the Mistral wind that comes down as well, which is very powerful and can actually ruin some of the actual vines there as well. A lot of places the vines are actually staked with like a teepee sort of arrangement to hold them in place, so they don't get blown away by this very strong Mistral wind. It's an important place if you want to get really good quality wines. It really does to be on a slope with good exposure to the sun. They say that Syrah needs a good view in the Rhone, meaning that if it's if it's not on a slope but looking out over a great view, if you can imagine, a vine having the view of the Rhone with her and all the rest, then you're probably going to get a good wine. Whereas if it's tucked away somewhere, sort of tucked away in the valleys, it's not really getting the kind of exposure, or if it's on the valley floor. So this is where someone like a St. Joseph comes in, because St. Joseph can make you two different types of wine. You've got on the plain, you've got the generic type wine that comes from there, very fertile soils. So you're getting, for want of a better word, a little bit of a thinner type wine there. So you can get a lot of bulk, quite cheap wines from St. Joseph. But if you're going up to the areas in St. Joseph that have got the high slopes, or the lateral valleys that come in towards the Rhone River, where you're up at height and the temperatures there, then you can get wines that are very similar to Hermitage, which is like, Hermitage and Côte Rôtie are the real big names in the Northern Rhone. But these wines can be planted in the right areas as good as a Hermitage, are very similar in quality to Hermitage, but for kind of like half the price. Whereas the cheaper low-lying ones are very ordinary generic wines. but it's easy to find out which one is which is when you go into your wine shop. The ones that cost 300, 400 kroner, 30, 40 pounds a bottle, are the ones from the high end, and the ones that you're given 70, 80, 7, 8, 10 pounds a bottle are obviously from the low-lying fertile soils, young vines, etc. I should also mention that it's not just all Syrah in the Northern Rhone. There are some white grapes as well, some white wines made from Marsanne and Roussanne, which are very often blended together, but the king of the white Rhone area there is Viognier. So this wine, the Saint Joseph Ludi, the Ludi, by the way, means in the Rhone area, it's actually from a special place, a special area, a single vineyard, as you would. If it didn't say that, just as St. Joseph, then you could pick grapes from the whole area of St. Joseph, and St. Joseph is actually the biggest area in the Northern Rhone. It's not got the biggest capacity of production of wine, that is the Crozets Hermitage, but St. Joseph is the biggest appellation. So if it didn't say Ludi, it could come from all, several different vineyards. But this one is taken from, and there's a reason why they've made that vineyard a Ludi, because they think it's something special about it. Maybe the vines are older, on better soils, and again with the elevation and exposure to the sun. So a St. Joseph Ludi written on it, as well written by, made by Gagao. I'm not going to edit all this, you know me. By Gagao is a pretty much your guarantee for an excellent bottle of wine. I see I've written 400 crown on the bottom of this as well, which is what I give them for this wine. And seriously, this wine is of such quality that I reckon it's as good as a Hermitage. And the Hermitage, you're looking probably 600-700 kroner, to get the same kind of quality as this for 400 kroner. Yeah, so anyway, let's get on and taste the wine. So here we are in the high-tech area. I'm showing you my phone. This is a Vivino. This has got an average score of 4.3 if you go for the Vivino, and an average price of 458. I think I gave about 375 kroner or so for this bottle. I've rated it 4.4, which is very high for me. Anyway, let's go back and show you, read out my rating on this beauty. So yes, this was very dark in colour, which they can often be. Deep ruby, I would call this wine. Straight off the bat, it had a great nose of blackberries, and there were fresh blackberries, and also some dried blackberry note on it as well, which is nice, a little bit of tertiary flavours. It's 2016, which makes that, what's that, 11 years old. Had black cherry, it had caramel. You go to the fun fair in England, at least anyway, like those toffee apples, just that smell, and that, that texture in the mouth of that toffee apple, not texture in the mouth, but the flavours of a toffee apple. It reminded me of that. It's a caramel toffee apple candy. There was coffee note on it as well, chocolate as well, baking spices from the oak, quite a lot of oak on this, cinnamon and clove, there's a little bit of olive tapenade on it as well, a bit of black pepper as well, all those typical Syrah things. It was medium bodied, and the best thing about this wine was the tannins were high, but they were so ripe and seamless. It was seamlessly going through the whole wine, holding on to that ripe fruit all the way. Great wine, great medium plus acidity as well, which I always love in the wine. It kept the whole thing in check, absolutely brilliant. And I've written here, it was a very lovely long berry meaty finish. What an absolute beauty. And I would definitely recommend something like this instead of, you need a wine for New Year or a 50th birthday or whatever, some celebration, something like that. The Ludi from Gagao would be absolutely excellent. Like I said, I think it's 375 kron, maybe 400 kron a bottle. That was superb. It was probably about half price of a Hermitage, the same sort of quality. So a great buy. So the question again, would I buy this wine again? And yeah, I would. It's so good. I'm just going to wait to hopefully come on special offer at some time, and speak to a couple of members of my little wine club that I got. BBG, big up BBG. And maybe we could buy a case or 6 bottles of this so we can have a couple of bottles each or something like that. But anyway, yes, I would definitely buy this wine again. So this is it for this kind of short episode, I suppose, of Wine Me Up. Yeah, so hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye now.